Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced a snap federal election for April 28, 2025, 6 months ahead of the scheduled date. This decision comes amid escalating trade tensions with the United States, including recent tariff implementations and threats from President Donald Trump. Carney emphasized the need for a strong mandate to navigate these challenges and protect Canada's sovereignty. Prime Minister Mark Carney's decision to call an early election reflects growing concerns over Canada's economic stability and political autonomy in the face of increasing USA trade pressures. Since taking office in March, Carney has prioritized strengthening Canada's economic resilience, emphasizing the need for strategic policies that counter external threats. His government has already begun discussions on new trade partnerships and domestic policies aimed at mitigating the effects of recent USA tariffs. However, with ongoing uncertainty in the global market and the potential for further economic strain, Carney argues that securing a clear mandate from the electorate is essential to effectively respond to these challenges. The snap election also serves as a test of Carney's leadership, as he seeks to solidify his position and rally support for his economic vision. As a former governor of the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England, Carney has built a reputation as a skilled economist, but he now faces the challenge of translating his financial expertise into broad political appeal. With recent polls showing a resurgence in Liberal support, Carney's campaign is expected to focus heavily on economic security, national unity, and standing firm against USA trade policies. His ability to navigate these issues while addressing domestic concerns such as inflation, housing affordability, and job creation will be critical in determining his party's success at the ballot box. Beyond economic and trade matters, Carney's call for a snap election also highlights the broader geopolitical landscape and Canada's role on the world stage. The relationship between Ottawa and Washington has traditionally been one of close cooperation, but Trump's renewed protectionist stance has strained diplomatic ties. Carney has positioned himself as a leader who will push back against unfair trade practices while fostering new alliances to reduce Canada's economic dependence on the USA. This election will ultimately determine whether Canadians believe in his vision of a more self-reliant and resilient nation or if they will turn to alternative leadership to guide the country through this critical period. Carney, who assumed office on March 14 after winning the Liberal Party leadership on March 9, is seeking his first parliamentary seat in the Nepean riding, adjacent to Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre's long-standing constituency. Recent polls indicate a resurgence in Liberal support, narrowing the gap with the Conservatives, partly due to nationalistic sentiments arising from USA actions. The Conservative Party, led by Poilievre since September 2022, is positioning itself as the defender of Canadian sovereignty against USA pressures. Poilievre has criticized the Liberals for economic challenges and is campaigning on policies such as eliminating certain taxes and reducing development charges to address the housing crisis. Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party are framing the upcoming election as a battle for Canada's economic survival, arguing that Liberal mismanagement has left the country vulnerable to external pressures, including USA trade policies. Poilievre has positioned himself as a champion of Canadian sovereignty, asserting that his government would take a tougher stance in negotiations with the USA while fostering economic independence through lower taxes and domestic energy production. He has frequently criticized Prime Minister Mark Carney's economic approach, arguing that it prioritizes globalist policies over the financial well-being of ordinary Canadians. By focusing on affordability and economic self-sufficiency, Poilievre hopes to attract voters frustrated by rising inflation and stagnant wage growth. A key pillar of Poilievre's campaign is his promise to address Canada's housing affordability crisis, which he claims has worsened due to excessive government regulations and development fees. He has vowed to eliminate the federal carbon tax, cut red tape for developers, and push provinces and municipalities to speed up housing construction by reducing bureaucratic barriers. His plan also includes incentives for private sector investment in new housing developments, aiming to increase supply and bring down costs for first-time homebuyers. Poilievre has repeatedly blamed the Liberals for high housing prices, arguing that their failure to act decisively has left millions of Canadians struggling to afford a home. Beyond economic and housing policies, Poilievre is also focusing on national security and immigration, two issues he believes resonate with a growing segment of the electorate. He has called for stricter immigration controls, arguing that the current system is putting pressure on Canada's social services and housing market. Additionally, he has pledged to invest more in national defence and border security, citing concerns over foreign interference and Canada's ability to stand up to geopolitical threats. With recent polling suggesting that many Canadians are increasingly concerned about economic stability and security, Poilievre's strategy is to present himself as a leader who will take decisive action to restore prosperity and protect Canada's interests on the global stage. Other political leaders are also mobilizing for the upcoming election. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is highlighting achievements from the Supply and Confidence Agreement with the Liberals, including progress on dental care and pharmacare. Bloc Québécois leader Yves-François Blanchet aims to assert Quebec's interests, while Green Party co-leaders Elizabeth May and Jonathan Pedneau are striving to increase their representation in Parliament. The election campaign is set against a backdrop of strained USA-Canada relations. President Trump's recent 25% tariffs on Canadian goods and provocative statements about Canada's sovereignty have heightened tensions. Carney has criticized these actions as unjustified and is advocating for a robust economic and diplomatic response to safeguard national interests. As Canadians prepare to vote on April 28, 2025, the election is shaping up to be a critical juncture, with the nation's economic stability and sovereignty at the forefront of the political discourse. The outcome will determine Canada's approach to navigating its complex relationship with the United States and addressing domestic challenges in the years to come.